In this session, let us see how to transfer files from your local machine to the remote Linux instance. All right. So the local machine meaning the machine on which we are working. So this is our local machine, and let's say I want to transfer a file. Let's say I want to transfer a PEM file from this local machine to the remote Linux instance, right? Let's see how to do that. Okay. To achieve this, the first step is we need a tool which is called as WinSCP. That's WinSCP. All right. So that's the tool we are going to use. There are other tools also, like there is another tool called FileZilla. All right. So that also does the same job. Okay. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I'll be showing you how to use the WinSCP to transfer files from your local machine to the remote Linux instance. So first you can just go and type in download WinSCP into your browser and search for it, and you should be routed to this website winscp.net, and you should be able to see the latest WinSCP version here for download. So click on it and download the WinSCP file, setup file, and once it is downloaded, go ahead and install it. Just give it a few seconds there. Yeah. All right. So let me run this now. I want to install this for all users, so that all the users who log on to this machine will be able to access the WinSCP. All right. Okay, that's about it. It was as simple as that. And now the WinSCP should have been installed there for me. All right. So to launch the WinSCP, go and type WinSCP from your search bar on your Windows machine, and we should have this commander style window open up. All right. And now we will be getting the first step here for logging onto the machine. So we have many file protocols here. Okay, SFTP, SCP, FTP, WebDAV, and Amazon S3. We can use SFTP, or you can use SCP. Either of them, both of them use the same port number, and the host name. The host name is going to be the IP address of this machine, right? Okay, let's punch in the IP address of the machine, and the username is EC2-user, and the password is the password which we gave to the private key file. All right, punch in that here. Next, go to the advanced, click on advanced, and again click on the advanced settings. Once we go there, pretty much like the putty, you will see the authentication tab here. Okay, click on authentication, click on allow agent forwarding, browse for the priv file. Yeah, the ppk file is here, and click on open. Once that is done, click on OK and click on login. So you should be seeing the the first level of alert here. All right. So then click on yes, and now it will again ask for the passphrase. You may have entered it already, but it is again going to be asking you for the passphrase, and click on OK. So once you've done that, we should be now authenticated into the server, the remote Linux machine. So you have the remote Linux machine on your right hand side, and you have the local machine on your left hand side. All right, so you can change to whichever directory you want, and from there you can copy paste the files, or a folder also can be transferred. However, when you are transferring a single file, it is okay, but when you're going to be transferring a set of files, it is highly recommended that you zip them and transfer them as one single file, so that the file integrity is not impacted during the file transfer. All right, so let's see. Now I'm under the home/EC2 user. That's the directory I am under currently. So that is the normal home directory for me, right? So I'm logged in there. So let me go and transfer the PEM file here. Okay, I already have the PEM file. Let me go and transfer the PEM file here. So it's going to ask me for a confirmation again. So if you want it to happen in the background, you can do that, but let's not do it in the background. Let's do it in the foreground and see what's happening. Let's click on OK. And yeah, so since the file was pretty small, the transfer was quite instantaneous there. Likewise, if I want to copy a file from the server to your local machine, you can just drag and drop it and the files are going to be copied also. All right, so that's how you're going to be transferring files between the machines or uploading files using FTP. Do not use FTP. You can either go for SFTP or SCP to transfer the files. All right. Okay, thank you very much for this for watching this session, and see you in the next lecture.